And you know what, man, when I read miasma and Greek mythology, I'm gonna read a little bit more in it too, just so it could be something you could look up on your own. But like I was saying, they believe that this curse came upon them. It's gonna come upon them. They said they were seeing demons and phantoms and so forth. Because remember we read the definition of miasma on Wikipedia, which means a contagious power that has an independent life of its own until purged by the sacrificial death of the wrongdoer. Society will be chronologically infected by catastrophe. So they're saying, oh man, unless we get rid of this plague, unless we get rid of this plague, we're gonna continually go through these different catastrophes. We're gonna keep seeing these spirits, these demons. When you look them up, it says they were seeing phantoms and so forth. Lord willing, we might put a picture of that up, just a picture of it, of that writing, and put like a paragraph of it so you can see it yourself. Because I had it last week when we did the show. Like I said, the show was done before, but the sound wasn't right on the camera. I had it on the last show, but I don't got the paper with me. All right. Just to read a little bit more on the miasma, like we just read about the definition. It says an example is Atreus, who invited his brother Thyestes to a delicious stew containing the bodies of his own sons. A miasma contaminated the entire family of Atreus, or that pollution. So it wasn't necessarily an actual plague, it was like a pollution, because the Megacules, or the Athenians overall, basically they thought that they was cursed with sacrilege for them slaughtering these men that they said they was going to set free upon so-called holy ground. All right. So read that. So now you know the whole plague thing and what caused the plague and all of that. So now let's go to this guy Epimenides. Why the hell did they get him for? Where he come from? Go ahead.
Okay, it says Athens.
Read the thing.
Okay. It says to an unknown god, Christians in Crete.
Right, that's the webpage. Go ahead.
Read this.
Nah, you don't gotta read that.
It says Athens was the subject.
Matter of fact, you can read it. You can read it.
Okay. Epimenides was a 6th century BC philosopher and religious prophet, and a contemporary of more famous philosophers like Aristotle and Plato, who also referred to him in their writings.
Let's read a little bit about this guy.
Okay.
Epimenides. I got him right here real quick. Epimenides, or Epimenides, how his name is pronounced. He messes up on his pronunciation sometimes. Epimenides of Knossos, which is Crete, was a semi-mythical 7th or 6th century BC Greek seer, a philosopher poet. Now remember, it says 7th or 6th century. It had to be the 7th century, because Cylon was around during the 7th century. 632 BC was when he tried to stage the coup. 640 BC was when he won the Olympics. And it says semi-mythical. Why? Because he actually existed, but there were myths that was associated with him. Let's read about it. While tending his father's sheep, he is said to have fallen asleep for 57 years in a Cretan cave sacred to Zeus, after which he reportedly awoke with the gift of prophecy. So there was myths associated with this dude. Orphic myths. Orphic mythology, that goes back to this Greek hero, so-called Greek hero legend of this Greek hero named Orpheus. And it was said that he was granted these super musical abilities. And there was a religion that they said that followed after this dude, after this myth. And it said that his teachings were through his he taught through his songs and different teachings and so forth. When you look it up. But due to the interest of time, we ain't gonna get into all of that. We just gonna go into Epimenides. It says that these Orphic beliefs was put on him, that this type of supernatural guy was put upon his person, this regular man. But it was semi-mythical because he was an actual person that existed, but these different myths were attributed to him.
Muhammad.
Yeah, Muhammad. That nigga Muhammad didn't go nowhere no damn Pegasus. That sand nigga, that Ishmaelite. Like the brother said, that's a semi-mythical person, you know. So it says while tending his father's sheep, he is said to have fallen asleep for 57 years in a cave, sacred to Zeus. Some sources say 50 years, some say 57. After which he reportedly awoke with the gift of prophecy. He also had the gift of prophecy when he woke up. He had the gift of prophecy. He woke up. He had the gift of he knew about nature. He knew about medicine and so forth. So that basically goes into this character. Have you ever heard of a character named Rip Van Winkle? It was said that he went to sleep for like 20 years. About 20 years. Some sources say 100 years. I believe it was about 20 years. So a lot of these things, they just get from these other so-called mythical characters and so forth. Matter of fact, let me type in Rip Van Winkle real quick. Rip Van Winkle. I'm typing sleep. Yeah, it says he fell asleep and woke up 20 years later. So that's like another, one of the myths of people sleeping for a long time. And it says, this is Wikipedia, Rip Van Winkle was a short story by American author Washington Irving, published in 1819. I'm just bringing that out, just something else, you could, because you probably heard of Rip Van Winkle before. So, that's why the Delphic Oracle, because I don't want to jump the gun, Go ahead.
Okay, it says, Athens was the subject of a terrible plague,
As you just made mention of.
and the city